The Chicago Bears' potential head coaching vacancy, which hasn't even been vacated yet, has already been listed as one of the most desirable head coaching positions heading into next offseason. We're going to talk about the reasons why that could be true or why it may not be true. We're also going to look at the offense, admitting that they got a little complacent, and how concerned should we be over that, and some of the Bears with the most to prove as we head towards the end of the season. We're going to get into all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host here, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every single social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the content. So there was an article done by Bill Barnwell, who is actually Barnwell. I'm sorry, who is he's an NFL writer. He wrote up an article on the potential most desirable head coaching vacancies as we head towards the offseason. And surprisingly enough, out of the 10 that he listed there, the Chicago Bears head coaching vacancy was listed towards the top of the list. And there's multiple reasons why listed in there. We're going to go over that a little bit. I want to hear from you guys on how you feel about it. You can please sound off down below if you're on the YouTube side. If you're on the podcast side, you guys already know how to get your thoughts in. It's also down in the description if you want to do so. But one of the several things that were listed as why this Bears team could be desirable for a potential head coach heading into next year is the multitude of talent that the team has on the team and players that's on the team, and the fact that the Bears seem poised and ready to go, at least according to this article, are ready to be to make that leap and turn around into a playoff team heading into next season. It seems like the talent around that's around this team is one that maybe people are looking at and saying, hey, there's a nice amount of talent here on the Chicago Bears roster, and if you have the right coach that can come in and get the most out of it, that you can then be looking at a team that you're going to be able to compete and contend for something, right? Not necessarily saying Super Bowls. We got a long way to go before we were even get into the realm of being able to get into that. But it just kind of brings home the fact that there is talent on this team. I've seen it. You guys have probably seen it in the comments. People kind of denying or doubting how much talent is really on this team. And the defense is a big part of that, right? When you look at around the NFL and you still have the motif of defense wins championships. And the Chicago Bears defense is a defense that you look at the bones of what this defense has, especially since the addition of Montez Sweat. And that alone, head coaches are going to look at and say, hey, yeah, we need some, we got some things that we need to improve on this defense for sure. We got some spots that we need to fill, people that need to go. We got some questions around the Jalen Johnson and things like that. But there's enough around this defense that you're at least stepping into where if you have the right defensive coordinator, you're not too worried about the defense. And then looking overall at the talent around the team and, some of the young players, right? And then one of the things that also were talked about the most, and this is probably the biggest part of it, is the cap space to go after free agents that this team does have ahead of itself, and the draft capital and the multitude of decisions that you need to make with some of that draft capital and how you can get even more back. As a matter of fact, one of the only things that were listed as a negative for this Chicago Bears team for a potential head coach is the fact that they're probably going to have to make a decision quickly as far as what to do with that number one overall pick. And that's if Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren don't kind of already have their place in that going forward. But that's really one of the biggest and only negatives that was listed on here for a potential next head coach for the Chicago Bears is they may want to avoid the kind of drama around what's going to happen with all the different decisions and paths you can go with that number one overall pick. But I think it's a good thing to hear that this could be a situation where there are a lot of people who look at this Bears team and this Bears vacancy, if it does become that, and say, hey, no, I feel like I'm the guy who can step in here and right this ship. Me, my staff, if I pick the right staff, I feel confident in what we're going to be able to bring out of what's here. And that's something that you want to hear when you're a fan of a team. Now, of course, people have their hopes of Jim Harbaugh, Eric Bieniemy, veterans like that. And that is something else that, Kevin Warren, and when you look at Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles, where they're going to go, are they going to try to go an offensive coordinator to come in? Or are they going to go kind of more of a guaranteed thing of a coach that's had success at the NFL level before, at least in a head coaching situation before? And so that's things that you're definitely looking at as far as that vacancy. But I do think that around the league, we're seeing that we're going to see, or maybe even be a little bit surprised in, is that more people look at this Bears position as favorable for a coach that wants to come in. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to want to come in and make changes, right? We got tons of things that need to be decided on. Jalen Johnson's contract, right? The Justin Fields guys, especially if the coach comes in is not as high on Justin Fields. That's something that they may have to decide. maybe some things that they don't want to kind of have to worry about right away, but that is a decision that needs to be made. Again, you guys know how I feel about the Justin Fields situation, so I'm not going to keep reiterating that. I've been made myself very well known on that. But when you look at how this team has competed, right, the fact that they have more wins than what they got last year. We got 5 wins so far in the season with a chance to push that up even more before we head into the offseason, is that this is a team that has the bones, the bones of building or the foundation, I guess is a better way to say it, the foundation of building a solid team that can compete for a playoff title. Now, again, it depends on how that coach methodology and what they want to bring in here, what they want to change, but that defense is going to be a big sticking part, even for an offensive-minded head coach. You got to think about it. If the Bears do go out and get an offensive-minded head coach to fill this, you got to look at it and say, hey, now I don't have to worry about the defense. I'm going to hire my defensive coordinator. I'm going to talk to Ryan Poles. We're going to see what talent we can get in here defensively. But that's something I don't have to worry about. I can focus on evolving, changing, and growing this offense, whatever the next step of that may mean. And so I think when you look at that around the Chicago Bears team, I'm not too surprised at the fact that we're listed as one of the most favorable and desirable head coaching positions. And actually, a team like the Carolina Panthers were actually, even with all their young pieces, were listed towards the bottom of that same list. And so when it comes down to it, we'll end up seeing where the Bears do go with this. I, for one, I don't think that there's really a big possibility of the Bears not changing the head coaching position, regardless of anything else. I think that we've seen now the writing on the wall when it comes down to that. I think that it's done. It's done. We've seen it. What it comes down to now is when we go into that and we make that decision, is it going to be an offensive-minded head coach? Is it going to be an offensive coordinator like Bobby Slowick from the Texans? Already seen what he's done with a quarterback like C.J. Stroud, the fact that he can build a solid enough offense to come in here. And again, regardless if you want to change things, then of course there's the top of the line people like Jim Harbaugh, of course, that the Chicago Bears fans are eyeing. But Jim Harbaugh actually has made comments recently that may point to him kind of deciding to go back to college football. But we'll end up seeing with that. But at the end of the day, yeah, this season and last season, it sucked losing. Losing sucks. Having only 8 wins over 2 years so far with 3 games left to finish this one, we'll see how far we can push that in. It sucks. But the future is brighter for the Chicago Bears. It just comes down to the front office making the tough decisions, making the right decisions out of those tough decisions, and then us having the right mix of players, coaching, chemistry, and other things to help extend where the Chicago Bears team was this year. But let me know down below, is it surprising at all to you that the Chicago Bears situation is listed as one of the most desirable head coaching vacancies if Matt Eberflus is fired, which I don't really think is much of an if at this point. I think Matt Eberflus is gone one way or another either way. But, let me know what you guys think on that. But coming out of the last game, and something I did not talk about yesterday, even in my takeaways from the game, was the offense, players on the offense admitting that they got kind of complacent, lackadaisical in a way. And direct quote here from Darnell Mooney. I didn't like how we felt comfortable in the third quarter. Just lackadaisical and just conservative. Everybody just happy that we were winning and just got to be aggressive and continue to put their foot on the pedal and just go out there and punch them. Can't get too comfortable in the third quarter. That's what kind of bit us. Tried to switch gears in the fourth quarter once they scored. It's hard to do that. Then you had DJ Moore chipping in this. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a law in the third quarter. We didn't really have no explosive plays. I didn't even think we had more than 4 first downs. It was like a little law, and we can't be like that going against a defense like that. Now, a lot of people have taken this concern to mean a couple of different things. Some people are looking at Luke Getsy. Some people are even still looking at Matt Eberflus and having your team prepared. Some people are looking at Justin Fields. Some people are looking at the wide receivers for dropping passes, things like that. But at the end of the day, it's all correct. This offense, regardless of who's at fault or not, came out in that second half and played like they already had the game shored up. And that is a problem for a team that's won 8 games in 2 years. You have not done enough to come out lackadaisical against anybody. You have not done enough to not come out and put everything out on the line. Now, don't get me wrong. The Cleveland Browns defense is a monster. And that's a defense that is going to get in your head. It's going to get you into a false sense of security and then absolutely rip it away to demoralize you. That's what the Cleveland Browns defense does. That's what a great defense does in general. They were able to put their neck on a team that thought it was thriving in the Chicago Bears and make us look like a bunch of fools. That's what happened. You can argue with it with your mama. You can't argue with it with me. It's the facts of the matter. The Chicago Bears came out and the offense gave us a bunch of 0, and there was more than enough blame to go around to everybody on that offensive side of the ball. Justin Fields is not abstaining from that. Luke Getsy's not abstaining from that. Darnell Mooney's not abstaining for that. DJ Moore gets a little bit of pass. DJ Moore is just a beast. But at the end of the day, I can't really think of any big plays DJ Moore fucked up. But nonetheless, everybody has it. And if DJ Moore's even saying we came out there in a lull and lackadaisical, everybody got to eat that. And that's what it comes down to with this team is that I know now the last 3 games, kind of the expectations are removed. Maybe getting into playing against a team that you're trying to keep your playoff hopes alive. Maybe the moment got to the Chicago Bears. Well, here's what I'm here to say to all of that. It doesn't matter. You lost the football game. Go out there and find a way to win. If we're trying to build this winning culture, you don't build a winning culture by assuming you got a game locked in with a half of football left. That is inexcusable. There's no way around that. And at the end of the day, you failed the fans, you failed yourselves, and you failed your coaches and ownership and everybody else. You failed everyone by coming out there lackadaisical. Yeah, we didn't have any explosive plays. I could say that the Cleveland Browns took away our chance to have explosive plays, but fuck that. You didn't get it done. And so as you continue to go forth and try to find a better route to be a winning football team, you cannot keep giving yourselves excuses. You can't keep coming out there lackadaisical, and everybody got to come out with a chip on their shoulder and realize until you're in the final seconds of the game, ain't nothing shored up. You haven't done enough in this NFL to and even with listen, I love DJ Moore, but even DJ Moore, you ain't won enough at a high enough level for anybody to come out here lackadaisical. And I'm not saying necessarily he just said, oh, we got this, I'm good. But at the end of the day, you have to be locked in. And if you're not, you're going to get punched in the face. And that's what the Cleveland Browns did to the Chicago Bears. They punched them in the face. We thanked them for it, and we went home with our tail tucked between our legs. You got to get it together. And if you can't do that, it's asinine. So hopefully the Chicago Bears, they learn from this. They go forth. Last 3 games of the season, we'll see what we bring. But there's a lot to prove left in the last 3 games of the season. And there's some Bears still with a lot to prove themselves. One of those people being Jalen Johnson. And I think Jalen Johnson is proving it, right? Jalen Johnson, there were questions around him, his ability, things like that. He's one of the Bears with the biggest question marks heading into it. And at the end of the day, it just comes down to this. You got to go out there and perform. And guess what? Jalen Johnson is performing. That price tag keeps going up with the way that Jalen Johnson is performing. And the Chicago Bears got to get it like this. You got to come out here. If you want to keep Jalen Johnson, pay that man a respectable fee. Go to the negotiating table and simply give him an offer. That's what you have to do. If you can't do that, you're doing yourself a disservice. But Jalen Johnson is somebody with things left to prove towards the end of the season. But I would say this, he's proved a lot of it already, and it's hard to take away from what Jalen Johnson has done since those questions started arising about him. But a player that's not is Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney may be playing his last 3 games in the Chicago Bears uniform, especially if the Chicago Bears go Marvin Harrison Jr. in this draft and get a wide receiver like that. And I'd say even if they don't, they got a number 5 overall pick as it stands right now. And there's some wide receiver prospects in this draft that I tell you what, I'm looking at and saying, bye-bye, Darnell Mooney. This is how you're going to perform. Yeah, it's cool you have the best chemistry with Justin Fields. It's great that you guys are friends off the field, all that stuff. It's all cool, fine and dandy. It's a great story. Feels good. But you know what feels better? Winning. You know what feels better? Execution. You know what feels better? Going out there and getting it done. And him and Justin Fields got a lot to prove on the last last 3 games of this season. They have so much to prove. And even with this, that said, even if this front office is at the place where some of us Bears fans are and saying, hey, let's improve the trenches, let's improve other things, let's run it back with Justin, we'll see what we can get. Even if this front office is already in there, Justin Fields needs to start proving stuff to himself, right? And we know what Fields can be. We've seen the flashes of it. We need to see consistency from it, though. And so we'll end up seeing if that's the case. If it, like they got questions around them, that you can't deny that. You can't deny that. And, you know, I think that Justin Fields is up to the test, but let's see it. But you have to prove it. You have to prove it. And that's what it comes down to. And we'll see if he can. My stance on Justin Fields has not changed, but that stance has also included that he has development that he needs to do, period. And if you're not going to do that, that time starts ticking for you. And so we'll see. That for many people, that clock has already started ticking. So let's see what it's going to be. But this is a offseason where a lot of people got questions, right? And so, yeah, that Tevin Jenkins, I love Tevin Jenkins when he's healthy, but I tell you what, him and Braxton Jones, this team, they're going to have to probably fight. Well, Tevin Jenkins is going to get that starting position as long as he's healthy. But Braxton Jones, listen, Braxton Jones got a lot left to prove this season as well if he wants to keep being a starter. We've seen the flashes from him. We know he can be it. We know he has the potential to be that. But I tell you what, this Chicago Bears team, I don't think can go through another offseason without bringing in somebody to help push Braxton Jones in that area. And then the center position, that's not even a question anymore. We know we need improvements from that center position overall. So, we'll see. There's a lot of storylines and a lot of things to watch left to watch on the back end of the season to see how things develop for the Chicago Bears. And, we'll see. Those answers, I think, are going to get themselves, have clarity to them shortly there after the offseason officially starts. We're going to know what's going on with the Chicago Bears, and we're going to be covering it right here, every day at Chicago Bears Central. But before we go, we got 2 voicemails that I want to get into. This one's from Fred.
Yo, Haize, what's up, man? This be your boy Fred, man. Man, after watching that game, man, I'm so disappointed, man, because I was really looking forward to the Bears, coming out getting that win, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling people, I said I'm not going to knock Cleveland. I say, Cleveland do got a good defense, and for Luke Getsy to call the game the way he did, right along with Eberflus, I'm just like, damn, like, y'all, like, come on, man. It's like 1 minute they go from sugar to shit. And it's like, we need to go ahead and get rid of these coaches. Because these coaches not going to do right, by the fans, by the players. They just not, especially by Justin Fields, man. And everybody keeps talking this bullshit about, I think they're going to get rid of Fields. I don't think they're going to get rid of Fields, man. They're going to get him the right coaches, because why draft another quarterback if we haven't developed, the one we got? You know what I'm saying? And when I was watching that game, when Cooper caught that touchdown, Terrell Smith could have possibly had an interception. You know what I'm saying? But I guess he over-pursued the play. I don't know, man, because the defense was playing good, so they gave up 2, key plays, man. And the defense was tired, because if the defense was out there getting them the ball and getting them 3 and out, the offense should went out there at least put up 3 touchdowns or something, man. And then for Eberflus not to kick the field goal before the half, like, dude, like, what you be on, man? Like, shit like that, that's a fireable offense. It's time for these coaches to go, man. Enough is enough, because I don't want to see the Bears trade Justin Fields for any one of the rookie quarterbacks, because I don't think them quarterbacks is better than Justin Fields, for one, to be, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Some people may think they are, but why set yourself backwards and trade Fields, and then now you see a rebuilding? Him and DJ, it's a dangerous, tandem. So why break that up? You know what I'm saying? Bring him another wide receiver, address that O-line, especially get us a left tackle, a center, possibly another guard, because Jenkins can't stay healthy all the time. I like Jenkins, but Jenkins' health issue is a concern. And we definitely need another center. Now, I know, Haize, you said it might not be no good centers out there, but we got to find somebody that can do way better than Lucas Patrick and Cody Whitehair at the guards as well, though, even Jenkins. But I don't know, man. It's just like, maybe they can, still, win a couple of games, stick it to the playoffs by being 8 or 9. Who knows, though? But let me know what you think, man. Chicago up, bear down.
Listen, time for the coaches to go, absolutely. Disappointed in the Bears' loss? Absolutely. Everything that you said is valid. There's more than enough reason to be disappointed in how this team executed down the stretch of this game on both sides of the ball. The defense puts you in a position, and like I said before, defense should not have to be perfect for a full game just for you to have a chance to win. There needs to be synergy between that offense and between that defense. And just like earlier in the season, Jaquan Brisker went to Justin Fields and apologized for the defense not supporting the offense. I can't remember what game that was. The offense needs to hold that to the defense after this game, period. The offense did not do enough down the stretch of this game to be able to be in a position to win the game, period. And so, yeah, I'm disappointed in it, but everything that you said is valid. Luke Getsy, it's time to get up out of here. There's been nothing that Luke Getsy has shown that he deserves to stay on as the Chicago Bears offensive coordinator, and I've made my thoughts very well known to Matt Eberflus. Even when people were saying, hey, the Bears are winning, he can have a chance to say, yeah, I understood that there was a chance of that, especially if the Bears did win out. But listen, when people show you who they are, you got to believe them. And the Bears have now tied for the most double-digit leads in the fourth quarter and still lost the game. That is a fireable offense to me. And I know not everybody's going to agree with that, and that's fine. I don't expect everybody to agree, but that is a fireable offense. And at the end of the day, we do need a new coaching staff, in my opinion, and that new coaching staff is going to make some tough decisions about this roster as well, and we'll see what that brings for the Chicago Bears team and for the future. But I tell you what, the future still looks much brighter. It gets brighter every day that goes by, and Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles start making the tough decisions, but the future is bright for the Chicago Bears team. We just need to bring it all together. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the last voicemail for today. This one's from Rory.
But what's up? How you doing, Haize, Bobby, C-Dub, Devo, Steve, the whole squad? Hey, man, after watching that game, that was very heartbreaking. With the Cleveland Browns, bro, we should have won that game. So that's a very fireable offense with Flus, because that's 4 games, is it 3 or 4, games that he lost that we was up in double digits. And you're right, Haize. That's a fireable offense, man. He should be gone. And for all these fools that's in there talking about, oh, Fields should be, traded or whatever, man, I have to tell them like this here. Would you be saying that you wouldn't even have this discussion if Fields had a different OC? Guess he got to go. There's no way. You know what I'm saying? There's no way he's coming back. That dude is horrible. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, who you think will replace Eberflus far as the defensive coordinator? I mean, I like to see what you guys think about that. You know what I'm saying? Because Flus I do give him credit. He does have the defense playing really good right now. Also with the wide receiver, I think Darnell Mooney's definitely up out of here. He's gone too. So I'm thinking like, I'll listen to Bobby. He said he liked that kid, Keon Coleman. I like him too. But also who I like too is that kid from Carolina, Xavier Legette. You know what I'm saying? He has the frame. He got the like DK Metcalf, type of build and everything. Like, and he got good hands. So I do like him too. What's his name? Duque. I like him as well. So I mean, we don't get Marvin Harrison Jr., which I'm hoping and praying that we do get him. I mean, those are some options that we can look at as well. But you don't trade Justin Fields, man. You build around him, get some offensive linemen, man. Because our offensive line, man, it's not working. Braxton Jones, no. We got to upgrade, man. Give him some more help. You know what I'm saying? We got to solidify that offensive line and get a couple more defensive pieces. And man, we're gonna be rocking and rolling. So man, you guys let me know what you think, man. But you don't trade Justin Fields, man. You don't, because he's gonna go to another team and he's gonna light it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you right now, he's gonna be our offensive coordinator that's gonna unlock Justin Fields, and he's gonna go crazy on the league. You got to build around that kid, man. Give him a good OC, a solid OC, bro. That's gonna play towards his strength. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be creative with him and with the receivers. And I hope we get Brock Bowers too. And I also like that kid from Michigan, Blake Borum. It kind of reminds me of Barry Sanders. So I like his running style. But man, you guys let me know what you think. Chicago up, bear down.
Who replaces Matt Eberflus? Rory, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, of course, you hear the Eric Bieniemys, the Ben Johnsons. I even brought up the Texans offensive coordinator. There's a lot of names out there who could potentially replace Matt Eberflus. But here's the thing: when it comes down to it, go out and get the right guy. And I think that's all that I care about at this point is go out and get the right guy. Go out and get a guy that's going to bring or hire the right offensive coordinators or whatever it is, that whatever this new staff brings about, we need to go out and get the right guys. We need to do an extensive search because, listen, when you're going into a rebuild, the things that you need are kind of non-tangible, right? So when we hired Matt Eberflus, the hits principle, all that, it sounded good. We were trying to set an expectation. Ryan Poles understood he was going to be trading away a lot of the key veterans that were big-time contributors for the Chicago Bears team. And, you looked at that kind of differently than now. Now you have a top 5 defense that can go out there and perform. So you know what you need to bring in a defensive coordinator. Now you have a player like DJ Moore. You have a running back core and Deontay Foreman, Khalil Herbert. You have Roschon Johnson. You have Cole Kmet, who you've now locked into an extension. So that shows you're pretty much set on Cole Kmet. We have an offensive line that's solid in areas, but we need to improve the center. We need another tackle. We need some more depth, right? But where the Bears are right now has drastically changed from when we hired Matt Eberflus. So now that extensive search had to happen to get the right guy. And so that's what this front office needs to do. And that's what it is. Now, as far as Darnell Mooney, I do think that the writing may be on the wall for Darnell Mooney in the Chicago Bears uniform, which I said earlier. I definitely think that could be a possibility. And if that does happen, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You got to perform or get off. That just is what it is. You have to perform. And Darnell Mooney has left much to be desired. And that's not to say that Darnell Mooney can't go to another team and be productive in areas, because I really do think he can be. But I think even outside of that, if you go out and get some of these other wide receivers, like, of course, Marvin Harrison Jr., the story's written on that one. You ain't even got to worry about it. Let's not even talk about it, right? You get Marvin Harrison Jr., to me, Darnell Mooney's up out of there at this point. But even some of the other wide receivers in this draft, like you said with Bobby, the Keon Coleman. Now, he's projected to go in the 20s, so that would probably mean that the Bears have traded down or something like that. But he's definitely a guy that I wouldn't mind the Bears bringing in. He's a big wide receiver, 6'4", 215 pounds, that can be an absolute dog at the next level. So that's somebody that you can definitely look at. Malik Neighbors as well out of LSU. Another 6 foot, 200 pounds, not as big as Keon, but another guy that you can definitely look at. But the crown jewel for me is Marvin Harrison Jr. He's the best player in this draft overall, the best talent, the best prospect, and I would not be mad if the Bears do take him number 1 overall. Now, as far as don't trade Justin Fields, you already know how I feel about that, Rory. At the end of the day, I think this. You got a couple of more years before you have to make the tough decision on Justin Fields. You can make it now if you're completely wowed and made sure that, and the front office is sure that one of these guys in this draft is the guy to push it. But at the end of the day, like if you improve your offensive line, you improve your weapons, whenever you do or if you do move on from Justin Fields, that new quarterback is coming into a much better situation than what Justin Fields came into and eliminate some of those questions from the onset. So that definitely plays a part in it as well. But we'll see. I haven't switched up on Justin. I'm not going to switch up yet. But those questions do remain there, and you got to find answers to those questions. So that's my thought process on it. Thank you guys so much for leaving your voicemails. Tell you guys how you can leave in some of your own here in a second. Make sure you're following the show at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-27. I'm sorry, that's wrong. 773-242-9336. We're the number 1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.